Okay, so hopefully by this point, everyone has their launch pads working and set up. So let's talk about how we can actually use this to make some drum beats. So if you are back in your empty Soundtrap um, project that you opened, the first thing I want you to do is turn on your cycle bar here at the top. And we're going to resize this by clicking on the right edge. I'm going to stop at the 5. And then I'm going to come over here to my zoom controls and I'm going to zoom in. So I want to make sure I can see all 4 bars. I don't really need to see anything else right now. So that's the first thing to do, is to get this set up. Turn your cycle bar on and get your zoom set. So pause the video and do that. Now the next thing is really important, and that is to turn what we call the metronome on. As I mentioned in the definition, the thing about real-time entry is that it's really difficult to be rhythmically accurate. And one of the most important things that you have to do if you want to learn how to play in real time and be accurate is you have to listen. And specifically what you're listening for is the beat. And what the metronome does is it gives us this steady beat to play along with. So the more accurate we can make our rhythms line up to the beat, the easier it's going to be for us to add other things to our music. So the first thing you need to do is, on the bottom edge of the window, find this button that says metronome underneath it. And if it's off, you want to make sure that you have it turned on. Okay. Now, next to that, you see a little gear. If you click on that gear, you've got 4 different sounds to use. There's a click, and what I did is I hit the play button, and so as it's playing, you can should be able to hear this click going on. So that clave is probably the easiest one to hear, but it's kind of obnoxious, so maybe I'll go with the tick. All right. You can adjust the volume if you want the tick to be louder or softer, but let's start with it about 12 o'clock. And down here where it says count in, let's leave this where it is right now for 12 bars. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do once you get that set up is just listen to the metronome. Tick, tock, 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 tick, tock, tock, tock. Then I want you to take one of your index fingers, whether left or right, it doesn't matter, and we're going to do that bottom left corner, that yellow square, which is our kick drum. And remember, we're making a drum loop. The first thing we want to do is get our kick and our snare and our hi-hat in. So first, I'm just going to listen to the tick, and I'm going to try to play my kick on every other beat, like this. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, so again, you want to listen to that tick and try to get, when you hit that yellow square for your kick, to happen when a kick happens. Now, the next step is we can actually record what we're playing. So to do that, I'm going to put my playhead here at the beginning, and then down here at the bottom, I'm going to click this red circle to record. Now, once I do that, you'll see kind of towards the top center is I'll get what's called a count in, and it's going to give me 8 clicks to kind of get myself ready before it actually starts recording. So the procedure is you click on the red circle, put your finger over the pad you're going to play, and wait for those 8 clicks. So something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when it gets to the end, you'll see here in the region, it has put these lines where I was playing my kick drum. Now I could go back and listen to it. Now while that's playing, I'm going to try to put a snare drum in between those kick sounds. Now I could practice that until I got comfortable with it. But when I'm ready, I'm going to put my playhead here. I'm going to hit record again, but this time I'm going to use that third square, which gives me that snare drum or that clap sound. So here we go. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. And when it gets to the end, if you notice, it's just added the snare sound to my kick sound. So I can go back and listen to what I recorded. Now to that, if I go to that square just above my snare, that's my hi-hat, and I can play along with the hi-hat. The hi-hat's probably the trickiest. But then when I feel like I got the hang of it, again, I'll put my playhead here at the beginning. I'm going to click record and wait for my count in, and then I'm going to start tapping my hi-hat sound. And so I recorded one sound at a time, but you can see as I recorded it, it's just adding the sounds to what was already there. I'm not actually recording over anything. Now, let me show you why we say that real-time entry is hard to be rhythmically accurate. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on this button that says piano roll. And then let me adjust the size. And then I'm going to zoom in. Now, if I get really close and see, and I look closely at what I've recorded, if you notice the grid lines that are going up and down and these little dots and dashes, you'll notice there are places where my dots and dashes don't quite line up with the grid line. Sometimes it's a little early, sometimes it's a little late. Like here, I was way early there. And so yeah, this is kind of like putting what you played under a rhythmic microscope. So really closely, and you can see, like down here, it got way off, particularly with my hi-hats. So when you do this in the Patterns Beatmaker grid, like every little dot and dash is exactly lined up with the grid. When you do it in real time, that's really tricky to do. So after you do this, I want you to go back and try to record again and see how accurate you can place your sounds. So I'm just going to click on this region and delete it. Now, if you want to record two sounds at the same time, you can. Like if I wanted to do my kick and my snare at the same time, I could do that. Just put my playhead at the beginning, and then I click record. Listen to that beat. And there I have that recorded. And then I can go add my hi-hat in by itself. I'll just hit record again. Now, once I do that, again, I can zoom in and get a really close look to see how close I'm getting. Some places are better. But again, keep in mind, I've been doing music for a really long time. So even for someone like me that has a lot of experience, it's really, really difficult to get this to be exactly accurate. But pause the video and take some time just practicing, playing along with the metronome, and then stop and go to that piano roll and check and see how accurate you're able to place the sounds to the metronome. Now, after you get the hang of playing with the beat, if you want to go in and kind of play around with the rhythm and try to do some different kind of rhythms, you can. So let's try this with my kick. So some little. Now let me add a snare to that. Again, you always want to put that snare on 2 and 4. All right, let me put a little hi-hat with that. Now I can go back and listen to it all together. Pretty shaky. But again, when like live performing musicians do this, they spend a lot of time doing this over and over again until they get it just right. So don't get discouraged if you find it difficult to get everything to line up right away. Just get it close. And if you can get it close, then I'll show you some tricks on how you can really quickly make this sound a lot better.